My name is James K. I'm in English 231, and this is my oral presentation on Moby Dick. The author's name is Herman Melville. He was born in New York on August 1st, 1819. He was the third of 8 children born to Alan and Maria Melville, who were early Scottish settlers in New York. Melville was 13 years old when his father died, and at that time, he had to leave school to begin earning money for his family. He went to sea at the age of 20, but ended up on a whaling ship 2 years later, and Melville was eventually deserted. This was his inspiration for Moby Dick, and the story begins with the greeting of Ishmael, who's the main character, or one of the main characters, and Ishmael explains his desire to go to sea, and with his desire, he moves to Nantucket to find a ship to go whaling. He ends up at the Spouter Inn and meets Queequeg, in which they become close friends. Together, they start their whaling adventure and sign up for Captain Ahab's crew. Over the next few chapters, Ishmael learns about the sea and whaling and how he can contribute to Ahab's crew. Captain Ahab shows his obsession with Moby Dick because he's mad that the whale took his leg. Then it also explains how deep Ahab's obsession is with Moby Dick and how it influences his crew. Ahab still, after many years of sailing, Ahab still has this desire to see Moby Dick. And finally, when they do encounter Moby Dick, the battle begins. And during the battle, the ship was destroyed and many of their crew was lost, with Ishmael being the only one to remain. He gets rescued by another ship called the Rachel. When relating to the course, I related Moby Dick to the Native Americans. I wrote about the Cherokee, and in the beginning of the story, Ishmael moves and experiences many new cultures. This can relate to the Cherokee because their lives are based on their culture. I also wrote about the Cherokee, and the majority of what I had wrote about the Cherokee had to do with how close they were to nature and how they treated the animals. This can relate with Moby Dick because of the whaling industry. He spent many years harpooning and killing these whales, but there was also justice into it. John Smith was the other thing I related with in English 231 because he was a man of exploration. Over the story of Moby Dick, he explored much of the ocean for his whaling. And the other thing I related to with John Smith was they both shared an extreme obsession in their goals, almost to the point that it made them seem crazy. My main takeaway from Moby Dick was how destructive obsession can be. Captain Ahab's obsession with killing Moby Dick and getting his revenge led all of his crew to perish and end up with only one crew member remaining to tell the story. This is why I chose obsession and how destructive it can be as the main theme of Moby